Hello everyone, this is XIV and this is the first side episode. These are going to be handled at bullet time, hence why I'm talking fast. I'll show you where to get a quest, where to go for the quest, what to do if it's not pursuable via common sense, and to where the quests are turned in. Prepare for jump cuts, because it's time for bullet speed side quests. A good adventurer is hard to find. This quest is being sent by one Bernadette to one Chancelope, less a guide and moral mark for your journal. Chancelope is next to the Archers Guild. Talking to him finishes the quest. Your rewards are 10 wind shards, 2 potions, and 50 EXP. Incense and Sensibility. This quest is being sent by one Melaine to assist a student of hers named Brya. Being the excited, diligent student she is, much like most college students, working far beyond her ken, and her teacher worries about her exhaustion. Once you talk to her, she directs you to fill empty censers in the Conjurer's Guild with the Zena Rose Oil. Once done, report to Brya for the reward of 50 EXP and your choice of 3 potions or ethers. Correspondent. This quest is being sent by one Phimolus, a fellow adventurer, to deliver a letter to Parnell in the markets of Gridania. Apparently she finds the local Gridanians to be prickly to outsiders and would have Bravers head out in her stead. Whether this is true or not does not matter, and we take her task in stride. With the one letter delivered, that's 50 EXP and the odd number of 103 gil added to our purses. Preserving the past. This quest is being sent by one Adele to bring tools to a new and rather forgetful student of the Carpenters Guild named Artur, which he forgot in his excitement when heading to the Mikado Amphitheater. Like the task manager we are, we take her quest in stride, first having to retrieve these surprisingly unused tools from the Helic, and Elizin hanging out in the schoolyard. After that, it's a small stroll to the theater to reprimand an overzealous carpenter, and retrieve from him our reward of 50 EXP, 5 wind crystals, and 10 chunks of dark matter. Grade 1. I am Millicent! Hear me war! Dumasand, a member of the Wood Whalers, has long waited for his replacement to arrive so he could get off shift. But, like the good employee he is, he refuses to leave his post until said replacement has arrived. Unlike any good employee, however, instead of waiting for a fellow employee to come by or just waiting for his replacement, he asks a random stranger from out of town to ask his boss to send his replacement. We take up his task and find Millicent at the Leatherworkers Guild when we learn that we have a bad manager who gives us more than an earful. Deciding her upstanding employee who's doing his job should be yelled at, she sends us off, but not before leaving us 50 EXP worth of lecture and 5 potions richer. Parsimonitronomics. This quest, as its long name might suggest, involves the free market. And as its unusual name might suggest, this lovely quest comes to us from Parsimontre. Being the amazing economic wizard he is, he has you do some grunt work for him, shaking down people like you're part of some Gridanian mafia. Shake down Admiranda, Gooseseed, and Alaric like the thug you are, and deliver the goods to Seingled at the Lancers Guild for 110 XP, 111 gil, and 5 earth crystals to call our own. For friendship! A young Ellison named Nicolau calls us over, asking us to cheer up a gloomy friend, a young girl named Anil. Being the nice people we are, we can't rightly deny his request. Simply follow his instructions to improve her mood, get some sad backstory, and complete this veiled emote tutorial for your reward of 110 XP and 111 gil. Covered in Roses! This quest has us gathering rose hips. Samian dropped no more than 3 feet behind him. Very easy to find and ignores advice about stepping on them. They are mortal beings, much like walnuts. Return all 6 to him for your reward of 110 XP and 111 gil. We're never going to have an even amount of gil, will we? Sylphic Gratitude. This quest has us gathering vegetable offerings from the Sylphs, some of the most adorable vegetable fairies this side of reality. They're scattered throughout the theater. Simply bring these vegetables to our quest giver, Estain, and receive your reward of 110 EXP, 110 gil, and a wind shard in exchange for that one annoying extra gil that keeps ruining our round numbers. Quarrel with Squirrels. Other than being an adorable rhyme, this is our first quest to see us out of the city doing some good in the world, namely the eradication of ladybug-loving squirrels. Boysalon has noticed their evil and requests us to deal with some rather nasty squirrels who have been eating away at the Lancers Guild foundations. Say 6 of the demon spawn. They can be found right outside any of the city's gates, except for a really high-level one, but if you have that unlocked, what are you doing looking at this for advice? Once the spawn have been failed, return to Boysalon for your reward of 420 EXP, and your choice of leather crackeros, leather sandals, or 3 elegant tin pieces. Once bitten, twice shy. This quest is simple delivery. Ethelred, your classic foreigner, very Gridanian, decides to swallow his distrust and have us deliver an Azemia Rose to Stillglade Fane after some choice words. A quick jaunt to the Aetheryte network, and we find ourselves delivering the rose to the front lawn of the Conjurer's Guild, and get ourselves a reward of 210 XP and 118 Gil. Kind of a letdown from the previous quest, but it was just a delivery. Essential Oil. In this quest, we find ourselves returning to Brya, the over-enthusiastic Conjurer student. She requests we slay Vilekin, known only as ladybugs, because, you know, squirrels aren't Vilekin, but certainly ladybugs are, and retrieve the scarlet oil from their dead bodies. We happily take her request. Strangely enough, if you kill a ladybug, the squirrels seem to aggro you. Not entirely sure why, unless they are thralls to the ladybugs. Something to consider. After slaying 6 of the ladybugs, we return for the reward of 420 XP, and our choice of fingerless leather gloves, leather light mitts, or 3 elegant tin pieces. A hard nut to crack. In this quest, we learn a local forager accidentally grabbed some metal bit while gathering his lunch of nuts. Somehow mistaking the custom metalwork object for some nut on the forest floor, he asks us to find its owner. Believing a wood whaler would know what it was better than he sends us off to Bonabonton. This kindly guard tells us that it's likely an iron snaffle for a chocobo bridle, and asks us to kindly return it to Treespeak Stables. We find a young man named Bodrin there, and, thinking we took it from a slayed beast rather than a gluttonous Lullafell, happily gives us more than we deserve. 455 XP, 11 wind shards, and our choice of a hempen tabard, a hempen half-robe, or an elegant bronze piece. Derision of Labor. Celestine, a world-weary adventurer, wants us to take a task in hand that she finds unbelievably boring and droll. Unfortunately for us, it is. A swift stroll to the Bannock to deliver supplies to Tsub Kamazam. After being praised for taking the equivalent of a lovely summer stroll through the woods, we get 455 XP and 127 Gil. The Return of Uneven Gil. Population Control. Chastalope, the fellow we were sent to meet at the beginning of this video, would deign us to slay 6 Fang warriors for the good of nature and Gridania as a whole. In exchange, he offers 455 XP and our choice of an eye patch, a hat, or 3 elegant tin pieces. Being the by now accomplished nature killers we are, we take his quest. Fang warriors are found just outside of the Bannock and the entrance to the Central Shroud. Saw that one coming. A fun little quest. A visiting adventurer shows curiosity in a local Gridanian dance and urges us to pursue it. We find a teacher named Yedthe, whose uptight tone is clear in her greeting. The consequences of this attitude become clear when she asks us to talk to Beaton, the Carpenter Guildmaster, as to how to get the students back to her classroom, because, you know, she's boring and uptight. Beaton, the amazing man that he is, tells us that she is too uptight and that a bribe is the right way to go. With 3 wooden toys in our possession, we run about and gather the children, 1 each by the 2 entrances to Old Gridania from New Gridania, and 1 by the river. After returning, we learn a fun new emote. And get 2,425 XP. Now that's an emote I'll remember for a long time. To finish off this episode, I'm going to throw in a side quest that is seasonal, and takes place between December 31st to January 14th. Meaning I missed my window, but I'll show it anyways, cause I didn't record that for nothing. In this quest, you are requested to take part in a fate called Pounding Rice, Pounding Hearts, which can be spawned in one of the following locations. Southeast of Zephyr Gate in Middle Lanaskea, east of the Salt Strand in Lower Lanaskea, southeast of Bent Branch Meadows in the Central Shroud, south of Hurst Mill in the North Shroud, southeast of the Old Daw Dispatch Yard in Central Thanalan, and east of Camp Drybone in Eastern Thanalan. I don't know if this quest will ever return, but if it does, I'd recommend teleporting to Aetheryte crystals as close to the Fate spawning locations as possible. If it isn't there, teleport to another area. If you're just starting, or need to save Gil, simply camp in an area where the Fate will spawn. I don't fully understand the mechanics of the Fate, but I found simply killing the Opa Opos and Mochi were the best way to get the Advent Cakes, which you turn into the good old monkey guy. That doesn't really look much like a monkey, but I'm not to judge. Mind I'm a ranged character, so I might have had certain advantages by abusing the hell out of fire! Once you've completed a successful Fate for the quest, you simply have to return to Saru to get your reward. 3 ornamental masks and some decor for your rooms and or houses you may or may not have. This quest can be repeated to get multiples of the crest rewards. And that's all for this episode. Quests level 1 through 15 for Gridania. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.